All right, guys. So, how is everybody doing here? Welcome into Slaughterhouse Sports. And today, we're going to talk about some new rumors that are going on around Starkville, Mississippi today, attaining to the Mississippi State position. And, I have several thoughts about several of these individuals. The thing about Mississippi State that is tough is that a lot of times, you look at Mississippi State and it's kind of like Dan Mullen, where Dan Mullen, I think, stayed like 12 years, but then it's kind of a job that you look at and it's kind of a job, unfortunately, that, there are better jobs even in the conference. And if you do a sensational job in Starkville, then people look to find a place where you can become nationally relevant all the time. And it's a tough job in the SEC in that you're adding Texas and Oklahoma now. So, the West was really, really difficult, but now you're adding Texas and Oklahoma. Lane Kiffin has Ole Miss at a pretty high level. And, the AD, Cohen, left to go to Auburn, so it's a new AD that's there, Zac Selmon, and I believe Selman played football at Wake Forest. Selman was at Oklahoma a very long time. So let's first look at the athletic director, Zac Selmon, and then what we're going to do is we're then going to, discuss this job and who do we think really has an opportunity at the job and who do we really think is going to take the job. They got rid of Zach Arnett at a decent time in terms of starting their search and in terms of trying to find out, who would get there. Okay. So basically, Zac Selman is an Oklahoma guy. So I'm going to tell you about Selman and all of his roots right now, okay? So Zac Selman, he started at Oklahoma in 2009. And that's where he started out his career. He played at Wake Forest, but he's from Norman, Oklahoma originally. Oklahoma from 2009 to 2014 in multiple roles like associate athletic director, then was in North Carolina for 1 year, 2014 to 2015, before returning to Oklahoma from 2015 to 2023. So for about 14 years, like 15 years, and he's 37, so ever since he was 23 years old, Zac Selman has been at Oklahoma. And there was one guy that Zac Selman definitely crossed paths with, and that would be Jeff Lebby. So Jeff Lebby is mentioned here in the Football Scoop search. Okay, he's one of four candidates that they list there. All right, so let's talk about Jeff Lebby. Jeff Lebby, offensive coordinator of UCF. Okay, Jeff Lebby was with Baylor for a long time with Art Briles. Actually married, I believe, Art Briles' daughter. And Jeff Lebby, the fun and gun offense, the up-tempo approach, Jeff Lebby's an interesting name. But Jeff Lebby, if he ever got things going at Mississippi State, he would look for a bigger job in the state of Texas, or he would look for a bigger SEC job. Even that UCF job, Jeff Lebby is probably really paying attention to that UCF opening, maybe if Gus Malzahn doesn't work out. So Lebby's 39 years old, been at Oklahoma for a couple of years. So it's going to be interesting about Jeff Lebby. Now, the leading name in this search was Jamey Chadwell. And I'm a huge fan of Jamey Chadwell. I think he has great offense. He kind of runs, sort of that option style football. He definitely can build a program, solid defenses, but his quarterbacks like Grayson McCall, Isaiah Likely is an NFL player. He's had NFL D linemen. Really, he's built a really good defense and a very, very good team. All right, so Jamey Chadwell, his record is fantastic. Coastal Carolina was not in a great shape when he got there. So when you look at his head coaching record, he started out at North Greenville, like a D3 school, and that's where Willie Corn was actually his quarterback there. It was his offensive coordinator. Charleston Southern, very tough job, went 35-14, and then at Coastal, 39-22, including 2 straight 11-win seasons and then a 9-win season in 2022. And now at Liberty, he's 11-0. So as a head coach, he's 110-57, okay, and 45 years old. The point is about Jamey Chadwell, he's won everywhere. He has distinct offenses. He knows to recruit. He knows quarterback. Very personable guy. I just couldn't be a bigger fan of Chadwell. I've loved Chadwell for a really long time, and I can't say enough good things about him, okay? I even thought he should be mentioned at his in his home state of Tennessee. I even thought that he should have been mentioned for that job. But the thing that we're hearing from Chadwell's camp right now is that Chadwell, he really loves being at in Lynchburg at Liberty University. He's a very devout Christian, and he loves the purpose that it's bringing to him and his family's life. And there's a lot of assistants that actually went there, like Willie Corn. I know the offensive coordinator and several other staff members went from Coastal Carolina in Myrtle Beach, which is a fun, kind of party atmosphere, to a very much of a more strict and more religious-based school, being Liberty. And Jamey Chadwell said a very poignant response, or a very specific, powerful response when asked about the rumors of Texas A&M or Starkville. And Jamey Chadwell said, I didn't just come here for 1 year. I didn't just come here for 1 year to build up a really good team and then dip, okay? I didn't just do that. And a lot of people's families moved out to Lynchburg, and we're going to try to build something here, and I care about the mission of the university, care about the Christian mission, basically, of the university. So that makes it sound like it's going to be very hard to get Chadwell. Now, Mississippi State has raised, according to these sources on Football Scoop, Mississippi State is offering him $6 million. That's a $2 million increase. He's making $4 million annually, so it is an increase in pay by about $6 million. If you probably pay out $7 million, that might be enough to get Chadwell. Now, the thing is about Chadwell, I don't think that he's going to want to go to 3 schools in 3 years and move his family there, but I know that money can talk. Jeff Lebby is a coach that's also going to look to leapfrog from Mississippi State. I don't know if he's really going to build a sustainable program. I think at Mississippi State, I think that you got to look for somebody that's going to stay very patient and somebody that is like really eager to actually like build something at Mississippi State. And it's not an easy answer at Mississippi State. You need to go and get somebody that really enjoys, recruiting Mississippi, and somebody that really enjoys Starkville and really wants to be there for like a decade. And unfortunately, like even Zac Selmon, such a young guy, you're going now to play in a very difficult SEC. You don't have the resources that Oxford has, that Baton Rouge has, that Fayetteville even has. So it's a tough job. Barry Odom, I think, would be okay. They're mentioning him. They're mentioning Rich Rodriguez. You could go really young, kind of offensive coordinator. I mean, Colin Klein could be interesting, but a lot of these guys are just coordinators. Who's going to create like an elite level staff? Who's going to have the structure to really succeed? And then you got to get somebody that could be that could really be passionate about Mississippi. Now, it's interesting because Will Hall had a really good season at Southern Miss and was 7-5, and I think he mentioned that he did not want to go and coach at Mississippi State. So maybe actually the guy who I'd call up is John Sumrall. I would call up John Sumrall of Troy. He's had a really, really good season, okay? I would be interested in Sumrall. And then if you're going to go young coordinator route, instead of going Rich Rod or even Barry Odom, G.J. Kinney is a guy that is going to be, really a big-time head coach at Texas State. He's created great offense. I think that he's an up-and-comer that is really, really good. So I think that G.J. Kinney is a possibility. Jim Leonard is not doing much right now. He'd be another. I know that people don't think it would be a cultural fit, Jim Leonard in Starkville, but he could create like really solid defense. For Syracuse, Tony White. So Tony White is a program builder. I would go even Tony White over a Barry Odom. So if I was really formulating this list, I would actually, I just came up with, I would go John Sumrall at Troy, who's built himself a really, really nice program at Troy. Sumrall is the hot name from Troy. I like that at a Mississippi State, and I think he has roots very close to there. I would maybe go, I told you I would look at G.J. Kinney as an option. I think G.J. Kinney is a rising star in the coaching industry. I don't know if Chadwell's going to go. So I would look very strongly at like a Sumrall and a Tony White. I think Tony White can actually really build a program. I think he would really respect, Mississippi State. He would respect the opportunity. You don't want somebody that's just going to dip, and Jeff Lebby, to me, I think that he's looking at UCF, and if Malzahn doesn't get it going, I think that Jeff Lebby likes Oklahoma. Chadwell, it seems like the timing is not right. If he was at Liberty for 5 years, he's getting closer to 50, and he really has that itch. I don't know if he has the itch to really compete in the SEC at this moment, especially with the changing landscape of the conference. I don't know if Starkville is also a fit that Chadwell's looking for. There could even be other SEC jobs that open in the future that Chadwell would be interested in. I mean, maybe Kirby Moore is somebody at Mississippi State. It's not an easy answer. I would actually take my time with this search. You're not going to arrive, and you don't want to outrush like A&M or even Michigan State. You're not going for Syracuse. You really need to take your time and start assessing names and getting the hire started. So I even started mentioning more names than just outside of the Rich Rod and outside of Jeff Lebby. They had Rich Rod in this report, Barry Odom. Chadwell is their top guy, but there seems to be, understandably, a little bit of a holdup with Chadwell. It's going to be a fascinating time. I like Starkville, Mississippi. I love the Cowbells. I love how it's, an underdog program in the SEC. I love how diehard and rabid the fan base can be, and really great people. Anytime Mississippi State fans come in and watch a game, for the most part, incredibly, humble, pretty modest people, good, hardworking, friendly, good people. And they deserve to have a really good football program, and we're gonna continue to monitor the search. But interestingly enough, they are going after a guy that if I was Zach Selman, I would also be pursuing Chadwell. And then they're going after Lebby. In the background is Odom and Rich Rod. All right, so that's what we got, guys, on Slaughterhouse Sports tonight.